Welcome to Spurs Focus, your go-to spot for daily Tottenham news, transfers, and match updates. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now. Let's dive into today's top story. Tottenham are back, and Micky van de Ven just produced a goal straight out of a video game. From the edge of his own box to the back of the net, the Dutch defender led Spurs to a stunning 4-0 Champions League win over Copenhagen, even after going down to 10 men. Brennan Johnson, Odegaard, Van de Ven, and Palhinha, all on target in a night full of drama, redemption, and pure magic at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Micky van de Ven led Tottenham's charge to redemption from the edge of his own box as 10-man Spurs blew away the cobwebs to record their biggest win yet under Thomas Frank. As far as responses go, this pulsating rout was the perfect way to lift a deflated dressing room and disgruntled fan base, though Brennan Johnson's needless second-half red card did provide a brief scare, and another reminder that nothing ever comes easy when Spurs are concerned. The Welshman had slotted the opener before Wilson. Odegaard doubled the hosts' advantage just after the interval, and then Van de Ven took centre stage, serving up arguably the best goal the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has ever seen. Given Son Heung-min was once crowned the winner of the FIFA Puskas Award for his stunning solo effort against Burnley in December 2019. That is saying something. But Van de Ven went one better than his former teammate, driving his way up the pitch from the edge of his own penalty area before slamming home his 6th of the season in all competitions. On Sunday, he'd sheepishly knocked on Frank's office door to apologise for his post-match actions against Chelsea when he appeared to snub the Dane before storming off down the tunnel alongside fellow defender Djed Spence. There was no better way to put the matter to bed, and you could forgive Frank for grimacing as his imperious centre-back channelled his inner Gareth Bale, because not only were Tottenham a man down, but Van de Ven ran so fast you feared for his hamstrings. 3 minutes later, João Palhinha also notched the 4th from the bench as Spurs appeared to feed off the infectious energy created in the stands. After struggling to open up Chelsea 3 days ago, Tottenham cut through Copenhagen like a hot knife, threw butter for the opener on 20 minutes. Xavi Simons, who was subbed on then off to cap a dismal evening against the Blues, registered his first Spurs assist from open play, threading Brennan Johnson in behind. The Welshman still had plenty of work to do. However, first rounding Copenhagen goalkeeper Dominik Kotarski confidently before applying a clinical finish from a notably tight angle. Thomas Frank's celebration was muted, and that was soon vindicated because Tottenham were incredibly wasteful in the final third as they attempted to pick Copenhagen off. Paris Saint-Germain, Lone Randall, Kolo Muani showed flashes of promise but lacked cutting edge in the penalty box as Spurs pushed for a second. First, he squandered a golden opportunity from close range following a slick, fluid move involving Odegaard and Simons. Somehow the Frenchman missed the target altogether before Simons displayed his creativity. Once again, this time sending in a luscious twirling cross that was nodded over by Kolo Muani. The World Cup runner-up did display an immaculate touch before teeing up Odegaard for the second, and Johnson was then dismissed for a horror lunge on Marcos Lopez as he became the first British player to score and be sent off in a Champions League match. Remarkably, it did not startle Spurs, and only spurred them on as Van de Ven and Palhinha put the game to bed. Richarlison also squandered a late penalty won by youngster Dane Scarlett as the Brazilian rattled the crossbar for the second time on an otherwise thrilling night. Tottenham fans, this is shocking. Spurs defender Destiny Udogie was reportedly threatened with a gun by a football agent in London. The terrifying late-night incident has left everyone stunned, and police have already made an arrest. Tottenham have now confirmed Udogie was the player involved and say they're supporting him and his family through it all. Stick around for the full story. This is Spurs Focus. Tottenham have released a statement confirming that Destiny Udogie was the Premier League footballer allegedly threatened with a gun by a football agent. The Metropolitan Police launched an investigation, and the agent in question was arrested in the aftermath of the incident. Spurs defender Udogie was targeted in London on the night of September 6th. Police were called at 11:14 p.m. following reports that a man had been threatened with a firearm. During the incident, another man is alleged to have been blackmailed and threatened by the same individual. No injuries were reported in either incident. The agent was arrested 2 days later on suspicion of possessing firearms with intent, blackmail, and driving without a license. Tottenham have now confirmed that Udogie, 22, was at the centre of the incident, which sources described as terrifying. A spokesperson for the club said, "We have been providing support for Destiny and his family since the incident, and will continue to do so. Given this is a legal matter, we cannot comment any further." Udogie is an Italy international who joined Spurs in August 2022. Tottenham agreed to pay Serie A side Udinese an initial £15 million, plus performance-related add-ons for his services. Since signing for Tottenham, the left-back has made 75 appearances. Udogie started Tuesday's Champions League clash with Danish giants Copenhagen at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He played 73 minutes before being substituted by manager Thomas Frank. Despite being reduced to 10 men in the second half, Spurs won 4-0 thanks to goals from Brennan Johnson, Wilson Odobert, Micky van der Ven and João Palhinha. Their next game is at home to Manchester United on Saturday, kick-off 12:30 p.m. It remains to be seen whether Udogie will start, with Jed Spence having replaced him for the closing stages against Copenhagen. Udogie was part of the Tottenham side that won the Europa League in May. It ended a run of 17 years without a trophy for the North Londoners. In addition to starring for Tottenham, Udogie has won 12 caps for his country at senior level. Born in Italy, Udogie is of Nigerian descent. Tottenham are in serious trouble ahead of their Champions League clash with Copenhagen. Thomas Frank is missing 10 first-team players, Lucas Bergvall is out with concussion, Kudus and Spence are doubts, and Spurs may be forced into a patched-up lineup again. With a huge Premier League showdown against Manchester United coming up, the pressure is rising. Here's everything you need to know about Spurs' injury nightmare and Frank's plans for Copenhagen. Injuries will once again dictate what Tottenham Hotspur starting lineup Thomas Frank can select to face FC Copenhagen in the Champions League on Tuesday night. It wouldn't be a match day for the North London team if it did not come with an injury list stretching all the way to Chick King on the high road. The Spurs head coach is already without the injured Dejan Kulusevski, Ben Davies, Kota Takai, Yves Bissouma, Archie Gray, James Maddison, and Dominic Solanke. Now Lucas Bergvall will miss the next 2 matches as he goes through the concussion protocol after coming off early in the defeat to Chelsea. Blues midfielder Enzo Fernandez accidentally smashed the ball into the back of the Swede's head just 3 minutes in, causing the youngster to fall to the floor before wobbling back to his feet. Despite his protestations, the Tottenham doctors decided Bergvall had to come off, and tests later confirmed the teenager was concussed. On Monday, Mohamed Kudus and Jed Spence were also missing from training at Hotspur Way to make it 10 absent stars, and Frank confirmed that the duo picked up knocks against Chelsea but could still be involved against the Danish visitors. Mathis Tel and Radu Dragusin are not registered for the European competition, making it 12 Tottenham first-team players who could potentially miss out. Frank has very few options in most departments of the team, particularly at fullback and in central midfield, and here is the Spurs team we reckon he might have to go with if he does not want to risk Kudus or Spence from the start and tries to give a much-needed rest to someone like João Palhinha ahead of Saturday's Premier League clash against Manchester United. 4-3-3. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Sarr, Bentancur, Xavi, Johnson, Richarlison, Odobert. Thomas Frank had plenty to speak about at his press conference on Monday afternoon, ahead of Tottenham's Champions League match against FC Copenhagen. Spurs are 5th in the Premier League, but in Saturday's woeful derby defeat to Chelsea, Frank's side created barely anything at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the 1-0 defeat could have been worse but for a string of saves from Guglielmo Vicario. After the final whistle, there was an awkward moment when Micky van der Ven and Jed Spence, who both made mistakes for João Pedro's winning goal, ignored Frank's instruction to applaud the home fans and instead walked past him and down the tunnel while he watched them go. Frank delivered an update on his meeting with the duo and also on 19-year-old midfielder Lucas Bergvall, who within just a couple of minutes of the contest took a powerful hit to the side of his head from the ball, which left him wobbly on his feet. He was taken off through the concussion protocol and now misses up to 12 days as a precautionary measure. Our Spurs correspondent Alistair Gold was among those putting the questions to Frank. Here's the full transcript from the press conference at Hotspur Way. Yeah. Micky and Jed came into my office yesterday, unprompted, and just said, want to say sorry for the situation. They didn't want it to look bad or disrespectful or all of the kind of perceptions you can get in this beautiful media world. That was not the intention at all towards me or the team or the club. They were just frustrated with the performance, the loss and the booing during the game. Lucas got concussion, which was probably pretty obvious from the footage. Big praise to the medical team, because it's a tricky situation to be in when it's 2 minutes into a game and everything is on it. So well done to them, because the player's health is the most important thing. Jed and Mo got knock. They could and should be available for tomorrow. Of course, it's a relatively small sample for me to look into. First and foremost, we need to work very hard on keep adding to performances, keep adding layers, keep improving. Work very hard on the training pitch, in meeting rooms, in one-to-one actions, and I see a good improvement in the team in general. Of course, we're coming on the back of a bad performance. That's the big flashing light right now, so everyone has a little bit of struggle to look past that and look to the very good performances we've had this year as well.